It was Arthur's custom to hold court at Caerleon on Usk, and he held it continually for 7 Easters and 5 Christmases, and once upon a time he held court there at Whitsuntide, for Caerleon was the most accessible place in his dominions by sea and by land. And he gathered about him to that place 9 crowned kings who were vassals of his, and along with them earls and barons, for those would be his guests at every high festival, unless sore straits prevented them. And when he would be at Caerleon holding court, 13 churches would be occupied with his masses. I am in the Gwined campaign, and the 4th episode. This is the Thrones of Britannia, the recently released saga title by Creative Assembly. I am Geoffrey Villarduen, and that was a passage from the Mabinogi, from a tale called Geraint, son of Erbin. The Mabinogi were Welsh tales, and they made reference to King Arthur as a real king. And so the Welsh took pride that he was based in Caerleon, that was in Wales, in the south of Wales, in Gwynedd. Hopefully we'll get there during our campaign. For the meantime, we are besieging Gloucester. It is the last thing remaining to Mercia. We are now united. The 3 brothers that inherited Wales from Rhodri Mor are now united. You can see Powys and Cyselwig are now allies. Cyselwig is a defensive ally for the time being.
Sit, have some ale, and tell me where you're... Don't waver!
So we have a very big army. We're now besieging Gloucester.
Your presence is unwelcome.
Here's the king of Mercia, Harold. And we can attack. We have built 5 siege towers. We have very clear superiority. The enemy has been worn out, and that's a sign they have been deserting. So Mercia had run out of money, couldn't recruit anyone. We had taken all their provinces. One of our generals, Beaucourt, had gone around taking all the various estates for us ahead of our army. So they had run out of money, they were bankrupt, and so their men were deserting their ranks. We just have these few units at Gloucester, and it is raining. And as you can see, Gloucester has Roman walls. So a lot of the Roman forts were abandoned, of course, after the Romans left, and they were taken over by the local rulers. Of course, they are very run down. We see them here as being very run down. And here's the enemy army, the garrison. That was pretty much the whole of the garrison. You see there are no more units along the walls here. There is one very depleted unit of javelin men just here. And the rest of the units are these, again, very depleted units down here. And then there's the governor, who is at the town center. Our army is approaching with the 5 siege towers. Here's one of them in the foreground. There's another one further back.
We're outnumbered!
Now, this is a very easy battle, but I am showing it to you for a specific reason. Here's another siege tower and another one. There's one at the far end. I'm showing you this battle for a specific reason. As said earlier in one of the earlier videos, here's the last siege tower. So in one of the last video clips, the previous video clips, that most of the casualties caused are caused by the arrow towers rather than by the units. So I wanted to just show you that. So here's one of our siege towers. It has these heavy axemen in mail suits. And another siege tower which is there. One here and one on the other side. Our enemy is clearly vastly outnumbered. And of course we have heavier units. Here come our men. Men Gwined. So the arrow towers have started shooting. The enemy is just running around, they're not doing much. But you can see the arrow towers keep shooting arrows. And coming off the siege towers. Our enemy just has some light javelin here, they're completely outgunned.
Strike the angle king down.
See, they flee before our might.
Thank you, Gimli. The commentator sounds like Gimli, Lord of the Rings. And those few javelin men that were on the other side have been routed. Here they are, they're running for their lives. By now we have defeated the enemy, but you see the arrow towers were shooting at the back of these guys. Even though now there's no one on the walls have been abandoned, the arrow towers are still active. And so here we brought this unit, new recruits, and they come here to capture the gate, and the arrow towers are decimating them. They're just falling like flies. So here they're going to this castle formation. There's actually one thing I wanted to say. You know this, and they keep getting killed. You've seen these chessmen, the chessmen of the Isle of Lewis, known as the Lewis chessmen. The figures and profile of the various kings are just like those chessmen in profile. And there were Norse chessmen, apparently. There were some random chess pieces that were found in a box. So here go down the towers. That presumably belong to different sets because they're not a complete set. Different chess sets. And the castle, the so-called castle or rook, as is known in chess, is not a real castle. It's actually a man in castle formation. As a soldier in castle formation, what we know as the rook in chess. The rook in chess represents a soldier in castle formation, not a real castle. I had not realized that. And so those men had gone into a castle formation that got decimated. So more than half of that unit that were in that castle formation in front of that tower that were shooting were killed.
We outnumber them.
And now our men have gone into Gloucester. Here's our king, King Anarot, and our enemy is left with just this unit. It's a bodyguard unit, so to speak. They're just levies, but it is the biggest unit the defenders had.
The settlement is on fire.
Incoming. The odds are against us.
And the odds are against us, he said. Indeed.
We have the advantage.
No, you don't.
Hold the line.
So, after shooting them with various missile units, they decided to make a move.
Wipe them out. Incoming shots.
Now they're being shot from all sides. So I have the general's bodyguard who is shooting javelins. There's a scout cavalry unit over there. They're also shooting javelins. There are 2 units of archers shooting at them. Very cowardly, but that's exactly what they were doing to us. And I'll show you in a minute what happened.
We're capturing
And so, okay, more javelins are coming in. We also have another cavalry unit, scouts. They're just taking the city center.
We're taking fire! See, they flee before our might.
Okay, and the bodyguard unit has been routed. There were only legs. They will be rounded down by our scouts. So that was a battle, quick and easy victory. Let's have a look at the results. So here are the results. We lost 128 men. Our enemy only killed 18. How does this pair up? What actually happened is they killed 18 of our men in fighting, and 110 of our men died from arrows from the arrow towers. So 5 out of 6 of our men died from fire coming from the arrow towers. Amazing. Like, the vast majority of the losses was due to fire from the arrow towers. So, clear victory. We can sack the city. We cannot subjugate because it is a condition. We have to win, we have to defeat and destroy Mercia to gain 10 points of heroism.
Like now! Every man will do his duty.
It was at 34, it's gone to 44. So, reward 10 points of heroism. We had to eliminate Mercia. We had to. This faction was no match for their enemies. They are no more. They dared attack my brother, the brother of the human player. And so Wessex and Gwined now are had a declaration of friendship. I paid some money for that. And then Fortru has been destroyed as a faction. Paid some money because one of the other Welsh factions attacked Powys, and so I had to pay some attention to that. So there's now a Bard Hall in Aberfro, and so I needed my back secure, so I made a declaration of friendship towards Wessex. I had to pay money for that. And here's Seiselwig. We now have a proper alliance. I think we have a full alliance now. Before we only had a defensive alliance. So all 3 brothers are now completely united in an alliance. In fact, all Welsh factions could have been united if Strathclyde had not been destroyed.
My halls are enriched by your visit. Take a seat.
And here is Northumbria. And I would like them to also be friends. They're not friends at the moment, but I don't have money at the moment. So here is Stonehenge, very close to Wilton, close to modern Salisbury. And Mirborg has been destroyed as a faction. We gained a little bit more heroism because of the barge building, the thing we built. There's a war between Hylerborg and West Morningas. Tamworthig is a great place because we can get upgraded units there with upgraded armor and attack. And Morcart is the perfect person to help us get some spearmen because he gets minus 50% in the cost of hiring spearmen. And so we now have a spear tech that allow us to recruit these royal spearmen, so we get a unit of those. They're called Valley Spearmen, I think, at the moment, and we can also get those Middle Spearmen. So Middle Spearmen and Royal Spearmen. The Valley Spearmen are the Middle Spearmen. And they're both slightly armored. The Royal Spearmen are super good, they're excellent. Unfortunately, I think I'll just keep it to those spearmen. We have money for more, but I want to get heavy spearmen, not medium ones. And so we have recruited those spearmen at half price. And I have our king, Anarot, nearby. He gets 55% discount because of his various trades and ancillaries and so on. For upkeep. So they're going to go with King Anarot. So not only did I buy them for 50% of their cost, they're going to cost 50% of the upkeep by being with our king.
We will serve you well.
So that's the deal. And basically that means our king will have to take this army around the world because it costs half as much in terms of upkeep. It's a very big difference. And the other generals will just sit around and just keep an eye on things. And so our king now has 16 units in his army. That's excellent. I think that's a good enough army to defeat any army that might chance upon our way.
We will serve you.
And a rebel faction has taken, or some rebels have taken Derby. Unfortunately, our king will not reach Derby this turn. So my plan now is just to unify, have this confederation with my Welsh brothers, being an honorable man. Another faction died. So we'll be united as the three brothers, just as our father wished. And we also have now a chainmail expert that improves the defense of Anarot's men. And we'll just see how it goes. Just defeat any faction that attacks us. And defeat any faction, any rebels, any settlements, take any settlements that have gone rebel, and so on. So we have now opened up 2 techs. We have a spearman unit and melee unit tech. We have started with a spearman chain. We're up at the 3rd level now. Research rate is at 120%. We can recruit those wonderful royal spearmen. They are an excellent unit. They look like they are the best unit that Gwined can get. The most expensive one. And now this is the next game turn. We have attacked these rebels at Davi. Our king is a night fighter, but I think we will attack him during the day so we can see what's going on. So here's the rebel army. It's a sizable army, much bigger than the merchant army defending Gloucester. And we have an even bigger army ourselves, so the odds are very much in our favor. So we are in 80-84 AD, and this is going to be the Battle of Davi. So it's going to be a foggy day, a very typical English day. Why not? Here's our army. Here's again our army with fog in the distance. Looks very nice. Here are the rebels. They look very interesting. This is the bodyguard of the rebels, I think. A very heavy unit. And here's our army. And now we're marching forward. Here are again the rebels arrayed on this kind of gently sloping hill. And they have very interesting hairstyles. Look at this, they have this kind of dreadlocks and stuff. Mohawk hairstyles. I'm not sure this is very historical, but who cares? And we are now running to take position at the top of this slight incline. For some reason the rebels are on the downhill side, and now they're setting their cavalry forward, and we have some cavalry here, and our cavalry is drawing our enemy cavalry towards the spearmen. We have now intercepted the enemy cavalry here with some heavy axemen. And so this is one of the enemy cavalry units. They've been intercepted by our heavy axemen. They're being massacred at the moment. They flee before our might, yes. And here's the main line. We're doing well here. We have heavier units, better armored. It would be nice if they thought of getting some helmets. Would have helped. Here our cavalry is attacking some enemy javelin men that had stayed back. A very big mistake. The AI does leaves his javelin men in the rear without protection. And here's the main fighting between our melee units, the enemy melee units and our own. It looks like we're increasing the pressure, we are attacking their flanks. The enemy bodyguard at least has helmets, they thought of that. And now we are completely surrounding our enemy even with our cavalry, so our enemy is fleeing. Just the rebel bodyguard is still fighting. Here's our general. Okay, the rebel leader has been killed. And that's the end of the battle, which is now taking the fleeing enemy soldiers, rebels, prisoner. Okay, decisive victory. There can be no doubt this is a great victory. And so we lost 29 men. The enemy lost 700 men. So they lost more than 20 men for each one of our own. The rebel army has been completely destroyed and we're now in control of Davi. A decisive victory. So Davi can give us a lot of money if we sack it, and it's not Welsh, it is Anglo-Saxon presumably, so we may as well sack it.
Agreed.
And the enemy, the rebel commander was killed. We can now occupy Davi for the glory of the Cymry. And here we can also replenish our army's losses. Nordman, another one of the factions, a Viking faction, has been destroyed. We have now a logging camp in Staffordshire. The logging camp gives us some discounts for building buildings. So we're going to start now building buildings around this area where the logging camp is. So we'll start with Chester. We can build a mint, or we can build these fields or something, a royal mint, or a camp of some kind, so we'll go for that. Here's again the logging camp in Stock in Staffordshire. And that was the end of this episode. Thank you for watching.